Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. There's this really fascinating poll that's been bouncing around Twitter, and sometimes this data is released that's just so perfectly timed, not just data but stories. Over the last couple of weeks, I keep going on and on about this pendulum shift that we're seeing. The left is going so far on every single social issue. It's that meme we've seen so many different iterations. Here's one that I randomly found on Twitter. How the middle became the right. Both sides make awful points. The left then pushes the guy in the middle over to the right grabs him, says, "You all right?" Says, "Yeah, thanks." And then the person on the left says, "Why are you siding with the bad guys?" Well, you're literally pushing moderates there. Leftists are making it impossible to stand with them. You could be kind of in the middle, maybe leaning right, especially on economic issues, but then on social issues, you're a little bit more of a libertarian and you kind of just don't care, or you think that there should be more government programs. You could even be center left, to where you'd be inclined to vote left wing. But the moment you start hearing abortion up till 9 months, or drag queen pride indoctrination targeting 5-year-olds, or books with explicit content being in the library available to 5-year-olds, not to mention all the corruption that you're seeing, the weaponization of federal agencies to go after Donald Trump, you see all that stuff, and most people with their heads screwed on straight, even if center left, have internal dialogue that literally goes like this: these people are crazy and I can't dissociate myself with them. And so we're seeing this incredible shift towards the right. I have some great examples, not only an amazing poll that we have to go over, but a real life example, something that's going on in the video game world. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably not tuned into it, but it's relevant, and let me show you guys exactly why. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so before we get into the data, I want to have a conversation of something that's going on in the FPS gaming world. FPS stands for first person shooter. Games like Valorant as well. I might be speaking Chinese to those of you guys who are a little bit older. But anyways, the video game world where you shoot gun go pow, a very popular online world. Well, there's this one very popular gamer named Nick Mercs, that's his online name, and he chimed into a situation that happened in California. We covered it in Glendale, where a group of Armenian fathers basically showed up to a school board to protest the LGBT indoctrination curriculum that's being pushed on their children. They were subsequently attacked by Antifa in the street. Someone named Brendan Murphy wrote on Twitter, "Anti-LGBT protesters attack pro-LGBT demonstrators outside of a Glendale, California school board meeting." That is total freaking fake news. But anyways, then someone else responded, "This happened 4 blocks from my Overwatch League apartment. Americans are in a sad place right now. Let people love who they love and live your own life." Again, not the issue. The issue is it being pushed onto children. Clearly, these people are just falling for the left-wing propaganda. But then FaZe Nick Mercs responds, "They should leave the little children alone. That's the real issue." Nick Mercs is 100% right. And what he said was, leave the children out of it, simply voicing his opinion in the public discussion on Twitter. And then this happened. Call of Duty, which is obviously a massively popular video game, I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of that. It's owned by Activision, who also owns Blizzard Entertainment, or rather bought Blizzard Entertainment in 2009, in one of the most disastrous events in gaming history. Well, anyways, Activision Call of Duty wrote, "Due to recent events, we have removed Nick Mercs' operator bundle from the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone store. We are focused on celebrating pride with our employees and our community." In other words, Call of Duty canceled Nick Mercs for saying, "Leave the little children alone." It's complete insanity, and I think most people can see it. Dr. Disrespect, another massive name in the gaming community, responded with this tweet, "Who's running Call of Duty PR and marketing now? Same people from the Purple Snakes? Pathetic." He then uninstalled the video game.
What we got to do is uninstall the game. Number one. I mean, don't get a mistaken. This year's Call of Duty is the worst in its franchise. But that decision by COD's PR marketing team, I'll tell you right now, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one to digest for the two-time. I feel like, A, they either need to apologize publicly to him or reinstate his bundle in order for me to consider playing Call of Duty again. That's where I'm at.
Another big name in the gaming community responded, "Nah, that's effed up," as well as many other similar responses. And all this to make a point. The left is going too far. Going after the children with their propaganda is taking it too far. And it's not just, oh, those terrible conservatives online that have an issue with it. Regular people and now apolitical gamers are starting to see the light. They're starting to see the extreme elements. And that leads to the data. This Gallup poll has people shocked. Social conservatism in the United States is the highest it's been in about a decade. 38% of respondents say that they are conservative on social issues. That is the highest since 2012. And 44% say that they are economically conservative, also the highest since 2012. A record 54% of Americans rate the state of moral values in the US to be poor. Moral values percentage poor, 74% GOP, which is up 44% from 2020, Democrats 38%, up 8%, and independents up 9% at 51%. Here's another poll. In the past several years, views have shifted on gender identities. Percent of people who believe that there are only two genders. In 2021, it was 59%, 2022, 62, 2023, 65. And take a look at that last group right over there. Gen Z, 57%, up 14% in the last 2 years. Gen Z, the woke generation. You know, Harry Sisson and his friend on Twitter and TikTok keep telling us that Gen Z is the most woke, the most progressive. They're going to take down the Republican Party for generations. Gen Z's coming after you, terrible bigot Republicans.
My generation has beaten the Republican Party in 2020, 2022, and 2023, and we're going to do it again in 2024, whether they like it or not. The Gen Z wave is here, and it's only getting bigger, and that should terrify the Republican Party.
Well, it seems as though Gen Z is trending towards the right on social issues because leftist insanity is driving people to that direction. You're seeing all these mega famous gamers like Dr. Disrespect and Nick Merckx, as well as many others, starting to take courageous political stands in defense and protection of children to stop the woke, inappropriate indoctrination and bombardment targeting children. That's big. That shows a shift. Their audience is largely Gen Zers, and so Gen Zers are there for the ride. And now we're seeing data that the American populace as a whole, including young people, is shifting to the right, not only on economic issues, but on social issues as well. And I have to admit, it's the same experience for me. Younger, I was really like a live and let live type person, and I still am, of course. I don't care what people do with their own lives, as long as it doesn't affect others, as long as it doesn't harm others, but we're starting to cross that path. And it's just gotten so insane on the socially liberal end that it's pushing me more to the socially conservative side. To stay sane in today's day and age, to not be black-pilled by everything you're seeing, I feel like I'm left with no choice but to stand by important traditions and values. As I get older, I'm becoming more of a traditionalist and more socially conservative. And I don't think it's just me. Anyways, that's pretty much the video. I thought these two topics went together immaculately. I know a lot of you guys aren't tuned into the whole video game thing, but hopefully I made the point. Hopefully you see the connection. Hopefully you found it interesting. That's of course the most important thing, and hopefully you agreed with what I had to say. If you enjoyed the video like usual, I'd love it if you would leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel if you want to stick around. I gotta get back to work. Thanks for watching, folks, and I'll see you on the next one.